What is up? Need for Speed Racers. It is I, your wheelman, Alex Cornnut, here with Billion Dollar Builds, episode 26, where I gave myself $1 billion, and I'm building every car in the video game for you in every class that it fits, so that way no matter what you want to do, I've got something here for you. Today is the Boss 302 Mustang. It is really good at S Plus for drag racing, and it's okay in the other classes. Let me show you what we've got here. We'll just dig into it. We'll start with B. If you are new to the series, welcome. If you're not new to the series, hit the like button right now before we even get into it. Save everybody some time, so that way if you don't stay till the end, we already got it sorted out. It helps the video get in front of others, so that way they know where to come for the builds, because there's other content creators that are putting my builds on their channel and acting like they're the ones that came up with it. They didn't. Militia Gaming, I'm looking at you for your Boss Mustang build. Thanks, dog. Appreciate the shout out. Anyway, let's dig into it. For B class, we are running the second engine over. It is the 7.2 liter V8, 390 brake horsepower when we start, and we go up a little bit from there. For the parts, you're going to do Iron Basic for the first two, and then the fuel system, you're going to tier up one and go with the Sport Bronze, and then it's going to be Iron Basic, exhaust, and no turbo, no nothing. You're going to run it naturally aspirated. Stock nitrous. And then you're going to run Elite Platinum road suspension, stock brakes, and as I like to do, Elite Platinum grip tires. No clutch, didn't have room for it in B class. And then you're going to run the Sport Bronze 4-speed transmission. That's the only way to get it to fit in the class. Elite Platinum differential, you definitely need it. That way you can get the most out of that handling slider. And then auxiliaries, you choose whatever works best for you. I like to do drift and grip. That way we get the most out of those micro drifts. For the handling, slide the slider 50% to the left. So you're going to go almost full grip with this, then back it off one. That's the way to get it to fit. Steering sensitivity 2 clicks high. Downforce all the way high. That's the only way to get it to go in the class. In B class, traction control off, drift entry is brake tap. That's going to give you the Boss 302 in B class. It's really not very good. It's not a cheese build, so it gets walked by the cars that have way more horsepower. 135 for the top speed. It'll do a little better than that with Redline Tech. 417 on the horsepower, 520 on the torque. Overall, it's not bad, but when you're racing other cars that are at a 130 mile an hour threshold, but they have way more power to weight, it just doesn't quite hold its own. So that's where it's at in B class. It's all right. I'm not a drifter, so if there's a drift slide for points set up for this, that's not me. I'm not that guy. Check out DeBuster. He does a lot of videos on the drift setup, so he can help you out there. Let's get into A class. Let me show you what we've got. Alright, for A class, it is really close to the same build. You're running the same engine as B. It's 7.2 liter V8, second engine over. For the parts, you're going to tear down the fuel system. So it's Iron Basic for the first four, and then you slap in there an Elite Platinum Roots Supercharger. Overall, it works pretty good. I tried to make it work with the screw, but it was taking it out of the class too much. So the Roots is the only one that will fit. You do stock nitrous, Elite Platinum road suspension, stock brakes, Elite Platinum grip tires. Good luck, guys. And then stock clutch. Keep that 4-speed in there. Everything else just keeps taking us out of the class. And then differential, yes, Elite Platinum. That way you get the most out of the handling slider. Auxiliaries, same as always. You guys do whatever you want. I like grip and drift. Get the most of the micro drifts. 60% grip. Slide the slider all the way to the left. Full Beyonce on that one. Steering sensitivity 2 clicks high. That's what I like. You do you. Downforce, last 2 clicks. That's the only place it's 209. So you do whatever you want there. But there's not a lot of wiggle room. So I don't know. I like to see 209 instead of 208. But it doesn't really change much. It redline text to the same top speed. It'll do maybe 169, 170-ish. But like, it takes a while to get there. It's really not that competitive at the lower tiers. It gets a little better as we start to go up, but I would say A is better than B, but not by much. Traction control off, drift entry, brake tap, not gas tap. And that's the Boss in A class. 165 top speed, 531 on the horsepower, and 653 on the torque. I think that if you slap some Pro Drift tires on this, it's got enough power to slide around. But once again, not being a guy that drifts for points, I really couldn't tell you high or low on that. But you might give it a try if you're going to be building out the car anyway. Let me show you what we got for A+. For A+ class, I got 2 builds for you. I got a drift setup and then a grip setup. You do whatever you think is best for you. It's okay at A+. It's nothing special, but it's got a little bit of power. Overall, it's not meta. So don't go in here thinking it's wild, but it does get around the track okay. So let me show you the drift build. For the engine, we're running the 7.2 liter V8 as we continue to do. It's a very strong engine. Second one over. For the parts for drift, you're going to do Super Gold Induction, Silver Pro ECU, Iron Basic Fuel System and Exhaust, and then we continue to keep that Elite Platinum Root Supercharger in there. Stock Nitrous, Elite Platinum Road Suspension, Stock Brakes, Elite Platinum Drift Tires, Stock Clutch, keep the 4-speed, everything else takes it out of the class, and then Elite Platinum Diff Auxiliaries, yes, put them in there. By doing so, you need to slide your handling slider to at least 70% drift, and downforce has got to be all the way high. Everything else takes it out of the class. So slide the slider to the right, 70%, downforce all the way high. That is a 269. That is a drift build. It'll get it done. I did not get the seal of approval from Sly QT on this one because it's not really his favorite car. But at the end of the day, this is how I would set it up for drift if I was going to run that. Let me show you what the grip setup looks like right now. For grip, you're going to continue to use the same engine. You're going to go Iron Basic Induction, you're going to go Sport Bronze ECU, and then you're going to go Super Gold Fuel System, and then you keep basically everything else. Slap on the grip tires like I like, and then you're going to run the handling slider to the left, full Beyonce. Cool. So what that gives you is the grip setup. It's got a little less horsepower, so it's a little faster in drift, if you will, but it's Iron Basic, Sport Bronze, Super Gold, Iron Basic, and then Elite Platinum Roots. Everything else stays the same. Slap on your grip tires, run your handling slider to the left, 60% grip, downforce all the way high, A+ 269. So that's both builds for A+. I obviously lean into the grip setup because I'm more comfy there, but neither one of these cars is really something to write home about. But at S-Class, it does have a boatload of power, so let me show you what we've got there. At S-Class, we change everything up, so new engine, new parts, new style, new transmission. It goes a little wild here, so stay focused here, guys. If you don't change the transmission, it won't fit, so make sure you pay attention. The engine that we're using in this build for S-Class is the 2.0 liter inline 4 hybrid, 599 brake horsepower when we start, and we go up quite a ways from there. That engine is the 6th one over, so we count 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, excuse me, 5th engine over. The Pro Silver 599 brake horsepower 2.0 liter. For the parts, it's Silver Pro Induction, Elite Platinum ECU, Elite Platinum Fuel System, Silver Pro Exhaust, Elite Platinum Screw Supercharger, Stock Nitrous, Elite Platinum Road Suspension, Stock Brakes, Elite Platinum Grip Tires. That's what I like. Gets me around the track the best. I really won't drive this car much at S, but hey, it does get it done. It's got a decent top speed. It's got plenty of power. It's just not super meta, but it's a little rowdy, but hey, it goes. Stock clutch. Now, you have to put in the 5-speed transmission. If you do the 4-speed, it takes it out of the class, doesn't fit. Throw the 5-speed in there, boom, you're good to go. Everything works. Everything else takes you back out of the class. So make sure you put the Sport Bronze 5-speed transmission in it, or it won't fit. Elite Platinum differential, auxiliaries, yes, put them on there. Handling, slide the slider all the way to the left, full Beyonce. Steering sensitivity 2 clicks high. Downforce all the way high. That is S329. Traction control off, drift entry, brake tap, yada yada. You guys know the game. That is going to give you the S-Class setup. It's pretty fast. It's got a decent top speed, but among other cars in the S-Class, it doesn't accelerate quite as hard as I would like it to because the power to weight ratio is kind of out of balance. So keep that in mind. 1082 on the horsepower, 1154 on the torque. I would say if I was going to be racing this car out of all the classes I've shown thus, it would probably be S, but you guys make your determining factor on that. This engine built out the best and had the best top speed to match, so that's where we're at. All right, S+, let me show you the most banging drag setup for S+ that I've got, and it was showcased on another channel and they claimed it as their own, so it must be good, right? S+ drag racing. This is a build that I discovered that I put on YouTube first. It's in my video on how to drag race, tricks and tips, and then Militia Gaming Community decided to put it in his top 10 favorite cars for whatever class, and then he shows the technique and does everything and gives no shout out whatsoever, so that's kind of scummy. But anyway, I want you guys to know that that's what happened because it kind of sucks. Work hard on these, and for somebody to rip it off like that, no fun. and I have no problem calling it out. So anyway, let's dig into it. Let me show you the best build for that. It is the second to last engine over. It's like the 7th engine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th engine over. 6.3 liter V12, 1035 brake horsepower when we start. For the parts, it is Elite Platinum, all of it, because we are in S+. Make sure you put the screw supercharger in there. It's going to give you the best launch off the line. Now, drag racing, you do not need nitrous, but you might as well stick it in there so you have the 400 plus next to your number, but you don't need it. You do need the Elite Platinum road suspension. You do not need the brakes, but you can put them in there if you want to get to 400 plus. Elite Platinum road tires. It gives you the best overall hook in drag racing. Elite Platinum clutch, you want to have it. You can do the Elite Platinum 6-speed or the 7-speed. There is no difference. It doesn't change a lot. Basically, you've got 2 dead gears, both 6th and 7th. You don't really utilize. You really get up to 5th, and that's the last gear the car is useful in. But you want that extra gear, being 6th gear in this case, so you can bump shift. And I'll link that video at the end of this one on a card you can click on. Go check that out on how to bump shift. It's a cool technique. And I also show the same build in that video. Elite Platinum diff, you want to have it, I guess, but it doesn't really matter because for drag racing, where that handling slider is at does not matter at all. Auxiliaries also do not matter because in drag racing, they don't do anything. I wouldn't encourage anyone to race this car because it's really not a very good race car, but it is a very good drag car. Handling, slide the slider anywhere you want. I went 40% grip. That's the build that I show in the video. It's pretty fast that way. Steering sensitivity does not matter because you're doing drag racing. Downforce all the way low. It's going to give you the best overall acceleration. That's the way to set it up. Go with that for sure. Traction control off, drift entry, brake tap. All that stuff is irrelevant because you're drag racing. 236 for the top speed. If you bump shift, this will get up to 245, and you can bounce between 245 and 236 the entire time you're on the drag strip. This is the most dominant car in S+ drag racing that I have found thus. And a lot of guys are like, oh, Alex, the S15. This walks the S15 in every category in S+. There is no better S+ drag car that I'm aware of thus far. So, build it out. Have some fun. You guys will love it. 1419 on the horsepower, 894 on the torque. It gets it done. If you guys made it this far in the video, I am super thankful to you. Please hit the like button. Drop a comment down below if you would, please. That'd help me out a bunch. Gets the algorithm going so others will see these videos so they know where it's at on the channel, know where to get the builds first before they get ripped off by others. Got a bit of a chip on my shoulder over that because it's not the first time it's happened. You think the bigger content creators would play nice, but I guess they want to have clout. You guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time.